Dawsonville, home of Bill Elliott and also the Dawson County Tigers. We're here. That's where we're going to start here at BLITZ. I'm Brian Carter, your host, alongside Jeff Lee, head football coach here at Dawson County. As always, thank you for being on the show, Coach.
Right, Brian, thanks for having us.
Now, it's been a long and hot summer for you guys. Of course, you had dead week to start July, and then you've had your heat restrictions that have kept you indoors at some points during the summer as well. You got to be ready at this point to be starting to hit other guys other than your own guys, right?
We are. Our guys do a great job in the summer of attending summer practice, of conditioning and weight training. So it is that wasn't. We viewed it as a plus when we went to the 2-hour, 5-day practices that we had to get into 10 hours total. It hasn't been an issue for us. Our guys stay in the summer like we said before, and then they do the things we ask them to do. So, you know, the conditioning factor of our guys isn't good. It's good right now. So that hasn't been a big factor for us.
And you open up August 17th with a scrimmage here at home against Towns County for those of you who want to come out and see Dawson County play and get a little preview. Now, Coach, there's a lot of expectations going into this year. You were 5-5 a year ago, which is your first 500 season since 2005. And I think what surrounds that hype coming into this year is that you're bringing back a huge senior class. I mean, you're very blessed to bring back your key players from last year. And that obviously that three-headed monster on offense you have of senior quarterback Tyler Dominy, who threw for nearly 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. You got Bruce Clark, who had about 670-something yards receiving, 10 touchdowns, only one drop all year. Guys like Will Anglin. And then in the backfield, you got Zach Martin as well, rushed for 1,200 yards and I think 17 touchdowns for him. How excited are you to bring all those big playmakers back?
I tell you, it makes it a pleasure to coach them, and it also makes it a little easier for you. We can actually do a lot more now offensively. Practice is, it doesn't seem like practice, so to speak. You turn around and look, and you go like, wow, we've done this much, got this many reps. It feels like we're actually cheating, that we haven't have to go back over so many items that we've had to do in the past. These guys have been with us. Some of them have been since their rec league years, throwing, catching with us, working with us. Middle school, they started, you know, the weightlifting programs. We knew this group had a chance to be good. And, you know, last year's season, we were borderline, you know, several plays away from being 8-2 or 9-1. And, you know, we had the lead in 3 of those games in the fourth quarter with less than a minute to go, and we couldn't close the deal on those games. But this is a new season. This bunch has been a real pleasure to get to this far. And, yeah, we are blessed with some very talented folks on offense and defense.
Yeah, and let's kind of look at your offense a little more. An offense that combined for over 28 points a game last year. And I believe you run from the pistol, which I had to do a little bit of research on that, and I noticed, I think it was Nevada started that in 2004. What made you want to implement that into the offense here at Dawson County, and what kind of advantages do you see that gives your team?
Well, looking at the pistol, one it has done is cut down. We've got a quarterback and receivers who would need to be in some type of passing-oriented offense. And to couple that, when you go into the pistol, it's different. It's closer than the shotgun. Mm-hmm. It eliminates the time the ball has a chance to travel in a bad spot.
And it adds that power running game with Zach Martin in there as well,
right?
So you can still keep the spread.
Right. We're able to move the fullback around a lot, and he is a big part of our offense. We've got 4 pretty good doggone fullbacks. We got 3 behind him that may not see the field. Wow. And 2 of them are young. But, you know, it enables us to still run the football. And while utilizing our quarterback into a system where he can see the field a little clearer, and then couple that with emotions that we use with try to gain advantages, we feel like we've got a pretty good offensive system. The pistol alignment is nothing more. We've put a wing tee / hybrid wing tee together with a pistol look, and that's basically what we form out of.
Now, I've heard 2 different numbers, 22 or 26 seniors that you have coming back.
Right now we're 21.
21.
I think in spring.
So that's the third number I've heard. Either way you look at it, that's incredible to bring back that many of your players. And a lot of people, if you didn't watch Dawson County closely last year, the 5-5 record not really indicative of how well you guys played. Like you said, you could have been 8-2, very well could have been 9-1. And I personally was at the Chestatee game and Banks County game too that you lost heartbreakers right there at the end. So a team that could have gone 9-1. So this year, you know, you have all those guys coming back, so you got to be really excited. But we got to say it's very unfortunate with the region realignment. Now that you got to lump Buford in the mix, you know, in a year that you pretty much have everything gelling together for the first time in quite a while.
Well, it all depends on how you look at that. You know, we feel that it's a plus. We're excited about it. When our schedule came out, we put together. Of course, our non-region is probably more competitive than our region. We've got Lumpkin County back on there again, which is a 4A school, and we've got 5A Central Forsyth, and we've got 6A North Forsyth. The one thing that won't be hurting are gates. Whoever's playing whom on those three gates will have huge gates because of the proximity and the fan base. But yeah, our region is going to be very balanced. Of course, until somebody beats Buford in football, then in our region, then they're still, you need to pick them number one. You know, I would too if you were picking. But deep down inside, I hope when we play them, I think it will be, when we play them in the middle of the season, that the game's going to mean something for us anyway. But it actually means something for Buford, that they got to be ready. And so we feel that, you know, we have a team this year that is that capable of doing those things. And of course, we can sit here and talk on a TV show and do newspaper interviews all over and radio. We got to prove it to them. Yeah. And until that's happened, this bunch we have now believes they can win. Yeah. That's the thing.
And you guys do, as you mentioned, a very exciting schedule. You got North Hall back in the mix now, then in the new 7 AAA, and this is like the 3rd region realignment in the last 5 years. So it gets a little confusing. But Buford, that date is October 19th, I believe, and it's going to be their homecoming. So like you said, that's going to be a big game.
Bigger crowd.
Yeah. Now, last question for you, Coach, and I'll let you get on to practice. But I had actually not known this the last 2 times I interviewed you, but then I found out, read somewhere, that you had actually got a chance to play in the NFL with the Falcons back in '87. Now, you don't have to talk much about that if you don't want to, but talk about what you took out of that experience that you use now when you coach.
A dream come true. I can remember in my middle school years sitting in front of the TV there when the Falcons played the first time ever on Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings and Fran Tarkenton. And I remember sitting and watching. I remember just telling my dad, you know, I say, I'm going to play for the Falcons one day. I'm going to play in that stadium, which was Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And through God blessing me and the things that worked, the way everything worked out with me transferring to Georgia Southern, getting reps and being able to play and being around coaches as Coach Art Russell and those guys. And then in 1987, the strike happened, and I guess God said, hey, you're not good enough to play in the regular season, but by gosh, your dream's going to come true. And so in 1987, it was when the strike happened. We were very fortunate to be at the right place, right time, make the squad, and stayed there during the strike. So playing-wise, all my dreams have come true. Yeah. And I still got one out there coaching-wise, and hopefully, you know, it'll come true too. But and that's what you used to ask me, you know, helping these guys. If they'll listen to a story like mine, we got other stories on our football team, just from our football team, that have great stories, that they put their focus on their dreams, and they didn't let anybody tell them that they couldn't make it. And so when those things happen like that, that's what I try to relate to these guys. And people, I get aggravated, not aggravated with you, so to speak, but when guys say, well, I got Buford. Well, yeah, but somebody's going to beat them, you know, and somebody's going to play them, and somebody is going to beat them. So
I'm ready for it. I know I speak for a lot of people.
So we're excited about it. But that's one thing I'd like to bring out of that is that, guys, you're looking at a guy who wasn't great, who worked hard and believed and stayed around. All of a sudden, I got my chance.
That's awesome. One more thing, real quick, is don't get into the intricacies of your offense and defense, because there are some people in Lumpkin County who will probably see this. So you don't want to throw out all your tricks. But is there anything new you're probably adding to the offense or defense this year?
Without giving much away, I don't want to say too
don't
much
say
about
too much,
it. But really and truly, it's just a more of a balance. There were some games where Tyler, we could have eclipsed 2,000 easily. He's been pushed toward 2,500 yards. But there were some games we didn't need to throw it, and there were some games where Zach was just on, and so you take it out of his hands, you know, and then you stop the clock with an incomplete pass. So I guess the main goal is for our quarterback to not throw any incompletes, and the clock won't stop that much. So, you know, therefore we can throw a lot more balls this year.
The pressure's on Tyler this year.
That's it. Put it all on there. That's it.
Okay, well, Coach, thank you so much, as always, for being on Blitz. We appreciate it, and you got the whole community behind you this year, and we're really
excited.
Looking forward
Thank you. Thank you for coming here.
Now, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to have 3 of his senior starters on offense coming up on Blitz.